Dumelang bakgaitso, I am Tebogo Tinti. Welcome to Time with Tea. Thank you so much for choosing to spend time with me. There are 5 things that I always say that I will constantly speak about, and those are gender-based violence, literature, performing arts, Agenda 23, and myself. Today, I am choosing to speak about myself again, and as I had said in my previous video, this is not a get to know me video or anything of the sort. It's just me sharing my experiences because I'm listening to a lot of other people's stories, and I realize that I relate quite a lot, and there are things that we have a lot in common but don't discuss because we are dressed in shame. So today I'm going to talk about the silent treatment. Yeah, now when it comes to topics, I really know how to pick them because every single topic that I pick really hits home, and it's something that I had to learn in the most hardest of ways, and it still plays a role in my life in a big way. It's something that I got to experience at a very early age when I was still growing up, when I was still a baby actually, like a growing child, like a small child. You get what I'm trying to say now? I was not even 10, but I was over 3 because I could comprehend. So the silent treatment is when somebody is not talking to you because you've done something that they do not approve of. Be it something that hurt them, be it something that they didn't expect you to do, be it something that makes them upset and they get upset enough to decide that they don't want to talk to you anymore. So my translation and my interpretation of the silent treatment, I have come to realize that it means different things to people that give the silent treatment. And I have seen it show up. Well, I have seen my interpretation of the silent treatment show up in many relationships that I've been in. And I'm talking from friendships to colleagues to any type of relationship, not just a love affair relationship, any other relationship. So for me, when somebody gives you the silent treatment, when they decide that for that day or for that week or for those brief moments, they're not going to talk to you, what I hear is somebody saying, you did something that I do not like, therefore you cease to exist. I don't want to see you. I don't want to hear what you have to say. I want you out of my space with immediate effect, because you don't even deserve to know what it is that you did that made me feel this way. So point blank, you cease to exist. That's my interpretation of the silent treatment. So for me, I grew up in a family that is big on silent treatments. So I grew up in a family that has always told me that I don't exist. I grew up in a family that has always told me that I don't want to be heard. I grew up in a family that always told me that I do not deserve to be corrected and I'm not worth the efforts that it takes to communicate with somebody and correct them when their behavior is wrong. So now as an adult, I see it happening a lot in my relationships. See, I'm in this relationship now where this person bothers. Woo! I don't know why saying that makes me a little emo, but woo! There isn't a day or there isn't a time, there isn't a moment where that person does not see about me. And when I say that this person has my back, I mean it. He has my back, my sides, my front, my bottom, my top. He has me at every side. I never have to question whether he wants to hear from me or not. Even when I make them mad, there's never silence because I once communicated this, that this is what I interpret silent treatment to be. So even when they're mad, they make sure to talk to me. Even when I made them mad, especially, they make sure to talk to me. I see it with my children. My children experience silent treatment, but not from me. My children experience silent treatment from the other people that we live with. Because kids are still growing up and they're still learning. Sometimes they do things without enough information. And the things that they do might not get the stamp of approval from the other people that we live with. So they get the silent treatment in return. And I see how they react to it. It's almost as if I'm holding up a mirror. I see the confusion in their eyes, like they don't understand. And I look at them and I say, oh my goodness, that was me at some point. It brings about confusion, like, what did I do? And what do I do now? And how do I fix this? And why is an adult not talking to a child? It doesn't make sense. So I don't do it with my kids. When they do something that I don't like, when they do something that is wrong, I sit them down. Well, I don't always sit them down. We would be in the middle of a TikTok video and I would say, hey, this thing that you did wasn't cool. Can you not do it again? And we keep it moving, because I believe that being a parent means being a teacher. And being a teacher means you keep learning. So they teach me a lot of things as much as I'm teaching them a lot of things. So, and I also realized that the silent treatment is something that a lot of people do not talk about, and a lot of people that practice this mean act don't see anything wrong with it. When somebody gives you the silent treatment, they think that they are punishing you for something, or they're teaching you a lesson. And it's the total opposite. When you give somebody the silent treatment, you teach them how to live without you. You teach them not to respect your word the next time you decide to say something, because they moved along without it. They didn't need you at that moment. Well, they needed you at that moment so you can teach them better, and you chose not to. So the next lesson that they're going to learn, it's not going to be from you. And I wish that most parents would understand this, that the silent treatment has a negative impact, a negative result. Nothing good ever comes from the silent treatment. It's like absence. When you're absent from someone's life, you literally teach them how to live without you. And people, there's this old adage, people keep saying that absence makes the heart grow fonder. I don't know. I don't relate to that. I don't. Just because I don't see somebody doesn't mean I'm going to miss them more. I'm going to long for them more. No. The more I don't see you is the more I know how to live without you. Out of sight, out of mind for me. And when people give the silent treatment, they need to be ready for the results of it, for the repercussions, if you will. And when they receive the silent treatment, they act like it's the end of the world. And that, beloveds, is narcissistic. Because an element of a narcissist person is getting extremely upset at the treatment that they give when it's returned. When you treat them how they treat you, they get incredibly upset. It drives them mad. It's almost as if they know that it's wrong. That's why they get so upset. And sometimes we always give people, we let things slide quite a lot when we say, oh, but this person is your family, this person is your blood, this person is your close friend, this person is this person is that. When it comes to boundaries, the person that should always come first, without a shadow of a doubt, is self. You cannot compromise your peace of mind and your mental state and your emotional well-being just because somebody who is related to you hurt you. And they don't see that they hurt you. And they would never dare to apologize. We should draw lines. I believe in drawing lines. It does not matter who you are. It does not matter how much older you are than me. It does not matter how much you have or what your status in the world is. If you come at me sideways, then expect to stay in those sidelines. I'm not going to open up to you and give you space in my life when you was clearly disrespectful and disregarding and just borderline selfish. There is good selfish and there's bad selfish. When it comes to ourselves being productive and prosperous, we cannot keep putting other people's behavior. No, we cannot keep putting other people's needs before our own, and we cannot keep encouraging and forgiving unacceptable behavior, because then we become enablers. It really does not matter who the person is. Sometimes even the closest people to you needs to be cut off. And it's a conversation that needs to be had, because it's so scary. People would say, no, but how can I cut off this member of my family? You can. Do they disrespect you? Yes. Do they disregard your feelings? Yeah. Do they bully you emotionally? Yeah. Then why do you have them in your life? Is their relationship serving you? You know, you ask those important questions. What do you gain from hearing this person speak to you that you are hanging on to for dear life at the cost of your own peace? So to the parents to the parents and the people who still dish out the silent treatment, just be careful with it. Be careful with it, because sometimes you take it too far, and sometimes you take it to a point of no return. And there are people that once you push them to that certain edge, it's chai for you, baby. It's chai. And it was said when I was experiencing it as a child, I didn't know what it was. I couldn't explain it. I didn't know how to handle it. And then growing up, I knew what it was. I started recognizing it. And when you grow, you know more, you learn more, you find out more, and then you realize that this thing has a name, and it really does fit what has happened to you. It's one thing to deal with it happening to you. It's a totally different story to deal with it happening to your children. To see your children in the state that you were once in is enough to drive anybody mad. And when it comes to my kids, when I say save the children, I start with my children, and I save them from anybody who does not treat them the same way that I would. So when I say hands off my kids, I mean it. I will go as far as I need to go for my children. When it comes to protecting my kids. And there are certain doors in one's life that once you close that door, you can never really open it again, ever. And that's what a silent treatment does. When you give somebody a silent treatment, you close a certain door. One day you might try to open it and it will be locked shut. So be careful with that. Be extremely careful. Thank you so much for tuning in and spending some time with me. Please like and subscribe so that you don't miss my next video. I don't even know what I'm going to be talking about next. But yeah, love and light. Do not give a silent treatment. Whatever you do not give silent treatment. Thanks, bye.